Hello, everybody. Today I am with Jade Green, and we are discussing the spiritual meaning of schizophrenia. And Jade here is going to share some experiences with us of how she was diagnosed and some of the things that she goes through. And then we're going to do a reading on some of her experiences and what that meant. What was that about? We'll go through each one. Well, in fact, we may just go ahead and you tell me an experience after you tell some of the other stuff, and then we'll channel on each experience to get the meaning. Does that sound good? Okay. So Jay, tell us about you being diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Okay. Well, I guess it started when I was younger. The doctors had me go through their normal procedures on their testing or their surveys and whatnot, their list of question and answer, and they pretty much came to the conclusion that I am schizophrenic. I do hear voices, so it's been a wild journey with that. I went from very few to throughout the years to like a bajillion overnight. And it was like really all hit me at once and kind of very impactful for my life and everything.
Now, do you hear a lot of voices at once? Is that what you were saying?
They come and go. Like they can be very repetitious though. Like it could be one right after the other, or just one here and there, or it could be something for a period of time where I don't hear anything, and it's just like regular every day. But now my everyday is I do hear voices all throughout, and it could be males or females, but it's more of them talking at me, not with me. Like as a conversation like me and you are having, like, oh yeah, this is how today was, and then having a response back. It's more like at me and just here and there, just to make sure that the awareness that they're there.
Making you know that they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and funny thing is we had started this video earlier and we got into some deep interdimensional stuff that she was talking about and it shut off. So we had to start over. So we'll get into this again. But we were talking earlier on the other video about how as a medium and a channel, that's exactly how, it came in for me is voices. And, I think there was a point, and I didn't bring this up earlier, that it was confusing. Like, is this evil? Is this bad? What's going on here?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't, until after my daughter passed that I got really connected with the divine and I knew what was coming in. But she kind of was a guide for me also that kept me knowing that it was okay. Because there is other dimensions and other voices out there and other things that we see. Something you also have a lot to do with is the visions, and you see into other realities. And so tell us a little bit about how that goes on for you.
Yes, it can happen either very extreme at times where it's very for like days on end. Like I can see lots of different like realms or dimensional type of things and beings and just items. It's very random. And then sometimes it's like not as much and there's not that much at all that's going on. There's nothing like a controlling of like, oh, I can see it today. No. It's like as I'm going through life in this journey, I can just see different realms it would see. Or like those are the terms that I've been taught are the best to explain it.
I'll tell you something that's coming in for me right now is that you also, because of your abilities, they just you haven't learned to control them. And that's why it's so random, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like you are seeing other timelines, which another timeline is another dimension and another reality also. But tell us a little bit about some of the other realities that you've seen. Tell us an experience of one.
Okay. Well, think of it. Like I can see sometimes like they call it like a force field or something of that nature. I can see it like over buildings, over people. It's like kind of like a bubble or something of that nature that's around or surrounding someone. And those are like the terms that have been best to explain it, like an aura or like a force field or energy or something of that nature. but some it can be as protection type of a thing, or it can be something else, but it's kind of like a vaporish type of
energy that you're
energy.
seeing.
Yes.
Okay. And now, when you've seen other worlds, or
Yeah.
you believe realities, worlds, however. So, have you seen some strange ones?
Yes, like I could be sitting here with you, and right now we know like there's tile on the floor and there's other stuff, but in like another dimension there will be something different. Like it would be like a dirt, or it could be like a different room completely. Like I'm thinking like we're here right now where we're at, and then like just sitting here, I can see the other details. Like we're not really where we think we are at that point in time. If you kind of can understand.
No,
that,
I can. It's so interesting. Now, do you see that now, today, or?
Not today. Like the other
Okay.
day, leading up to this, knowing like there's been a lot of stuff that started going on again at the house and stuff of that nature, and a lot more voices and a lot of other things that are going on. But not right now in particular.
Okay. No, that's good. So when, say, at your home and you're having one of these experiences, go through it with us. Like, how does that look? Say, like, what are the things that's happened lately? Like, what are they saying, the voices?
That's a very good question. They say a lot of different things at times. Sometimes it's just stuff at random, and like I can hear them talking. But it's nothing like specific, like lately.
Like, let's go ride the horses, or
Yeah.
I mean, something like that. So do you think that that's in a different time, like where you're at right now, and you're going through these experiences? Like, do you have an example of like something you've seen like that? Like what, maybe what? Because it feels like in those instances, correct me if I'm wrong, that you're seeing another timeline in some areas.
Yeah, in some.
And they're going through their life, and then you show up.
Yeah.
Because you can see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I've been told different things like that has happened to me, or that is going to happen, like and stuff of that nature. But it's like 1 to 3 words or 4 to 5 words or something. It's not like a full blown conversation, but it will be just like a few things here and there, and it just chime in as I go or as I'm there. And if I'm not doing as much like actively, like socializing and going out and doing stuff of that nature, it tames down a little bit. But for the long run, it's still there. It tames down a whole lot more when I'm not around a lot of people and a lot of stuff going on.
Because I'm getting here too, you also are tuning into past life. Say you're around somebody and you're seeing a scene, and then these voices come in, a different reality, a different dimension you're seeing. It may be a past life of somebody, and you're seeing the experience around it.
Yes, I've heard.
That's why people bring it in. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I've heard of like someone being scalped and stuff of that nature, and then I've heard of like certain things have been done, and like this is there. It goes on both aspects of stuff that is good and stuff that has been bad or very like hostile.
Yeah, because the truth is, all life has not been good and easy, right? Yeah. You're going to see probably around somebody who's had a karmic past life, say they were murdered, say that, or whatever. That's going to be in their energy field if you were able to see that. And the scalping. And let's go into that, because that's very interesting, the scalping one. I want to do a little channeling on that. Whoa, we just lost the tree. And then we're having fun. Okay, I think we're still good.
Yeah.
Okay. I just moved back too much. Okay, so as far as that goes, let's go into the experience when you saw people being scalped. Who were you around, and then let's go into what you saw.
I was kind of going through a phase in my life when I was by myself a lot of the time. I was walking a lot because I don't drive sometimes due to this condition of seeing stuff. I just prefer not to at certain times, so I don't particularly drive a lot, especially when a lot's going on. So I was walking, and I was in I had met somebody and I was discussing with them and we were talking, and then next thing you know, like I would feel something, but it wasn't there. Like it wasn't something that someone else could see. And then even being with someone else, I wonder, I kind of question, like what, like do you see what's going on if I can feel something right now? And they don't. And I would base it off of their reaction. So I know it was just me in the sense of being able to see, feel, or hear what's going on and stuff of that nature. And then as I was proceeding to leave, I could see this dome over the area where I was at. And I heard the voice that was telling me that they had scalped me after I had already felt this. But it only pertains to like certain areas of town or certain areas of the city or where I'm at. There's different events that go on and transpire, and there's different type of energies that I can kind of coincide with.
So what I'm seeing is then, and it could be people too that trigger it, but it seems like it's more the area of a past life or dimension. And that's a dimension is a past life, something that happened in that area.
Yeah.
So you saw in this experience, you saw that he had been scalped, or he told you he had scalped.
Yeah, well, he had been scalped. And when I was no longer with him, I had heard a voice that had said that they had scalped him, or that someone had been scalped.
So we want to go into that. And that's here in Las Vegas, is that right?
Yes, it's on more that side of town near that mountain.
Closer to Lone Mountain?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so let's see. It's all right. Okay, this soul is coming in, I guess. I was there and she saw me. I couldn't believe she could see me. I had been scalped, and I was telling her it was me. I am in this area because I died there. She saw my spirit in the energy form. I lived in the mountains, lived up there in the mountains. There was a Indian tribe. I came across that scalped me. They had killed him though. He died there. But you saw that I was scalped and killed.
Oh.
He was a spirit. And this was back in, when was this time frame?
This was actually a few years back.
Yeah, I mean for him, I'm asking.
Oh.
No, it's okay. When was this time frame? Getting like 1700s. So it'd be interesting to see what tribe was there, what happened there. But he actually came across them and he was killed, and you saw him. So what's even more interesting is that I get that you're seeing the imprints too of what happened in that area. It's like an imprint is how it's showing me. It's a timeline, but it's the imprints of the energy that's still left there. You're so sensitive that you pick up on all of that. And the spirits that died there, they leave a part of their soul there because he was trapped. I mean, spiritually, a part of him was left there. It was not, we lose soul fragments in different timelines. And that's what he's telling me here. Okay. You need to understand she is able to deal with many different entities because she has been to other dimensions. Okay, so now I guess you guys are wanting to talk about this.
Okay.
Okay, so sometimes you see life forms that are not human.
Oh, yes.
And these are they're from other dimensions. Tell us of an experience of that, and that they want us to bring that out because you are like this.
I've seen people as like beings or figures of us that are not actually, as I can say, tangible. Like I call them a bajillion ones sometimes because that's when other things come in. It would seem sometimes that I have glimpses of difference. And sometimes, like, I can go to a park and I can see a lot more is going on at this park and not, and there's stuff like in the trees and there's stuff like on the ground. And like, it's something that I'd be like, oh my God, but like, I don't want to touch that or step on that. And then someone just walks right through it and like, with nothing at their,
It's like
no
an
time of
energy
day.
being.
Yeah. And like, I've seen stuff other than like people, like me and you. I've seen stuff of like alien looking like people, different forms, different colors, different shades. I've seen stuff that have been like short and black or darker with like no eyes and like with the facials, like more on like I guess you could say the scarier side or demonic side of things. I've seen things that have been like angelic of nature. I've seen things with like older and younger. Um, Yeah, it's a trip. But like the beans or like when it's more like human based, it's more like at home and more like I don't know if you say comforting, but it's
It's
just
something you recognize and
it's
understand.
recognized, yeah, as a being someone else there. But then at the same time, I do kind of wonder if some people are okay because a lot of stuff that I have seen. I'd be like, "Are you okay right now? What's going on? Like what I'm seeing and what I've seen happen." And like they'll be like, "Yeah, it's just fine," and like I'll base it off of their reactions. And then sometimes,
So are you talking about real people or the things
yeah,
that
I'm
you're
talking
saying
about people
that are around
and,
it?
and
Okay.
that these things are around or are not.
Oh, wow.
On a basis. And then like even with me just being there alone, like going through certain stuff that I've seen on my own, it's more predominant when I'm around another, if that makes sense.
No, it does. Yeah. And so you see it around a person and you're maybe, what are you seeing around? Say, give me an example of somebody you see these beings or these creatures or whatever it is around them. Can you think of one?
Um well there's these like say all right, say like someone says that they feel something or they have like a stiff leg or if they have something or something of that nature. Sometimes I can see something physically like on their leg or like on their back or something that is around them that's preventing them and like something has done this to them. As I would say.
I know. It's
But-
like, this is intense. You're bringing in for
But-
yourself. It's a lot.
But yeah, and it's like if only I could like move something and it could like help them. You know, that was something that like so some of the stuff that I do see at times, I've been wanting to help or do something about it.
The whole time I'm sitting here listening to all of this and getting really deep in it with you, I'm sitting here thinking, if she exactly that, like if she only, knew Reiki or knew how to do this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think that would help you with this whole thing. Because your seeing is incredible. And instead, but you haven't had it under control, so it feels like it's hard on you, physically and probably emotionally.
There's been times when I've been very, very sick, very ill. Sometimes when a lot of the major events have happened in my life within the past few years, I can say. Maybe it's tamed down a lot. Like I said, I don't go out too much, and I don't do too much other than what's necessary.
Yeah, I get that.
And yeah. So
it's interesting. I hope to do with you the Munukai and give you those tools, the healing tools and things like that in the near future, so that you can get some of this in line for you. Because I imagine with what you can see, you could help so many people. I think you're very gifted in that way. You just haven't been able to get there yet.
Yeah.
So tell me about, I use some poofs or something like this.
Oh,
what are
poofers,
these?
and that's when the thing poofed on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I talk about it, it's like, as one of my friends have said, like more of like a vapor type of thing, or like it's like an outline. It's like one of the dimensional characters that we can say, or like either it's being like me and you that I'm seeing, like a human form, or if it's something else that is just poof, and it's coming in, like I said.
The first thing that's come into me about that, and see how this resonates for you, is that's shadow energies. See, a lot of times in our own traumas in this lifetime, and maybe in others, they follow us, right? And we create this energy being that doesn't have a soul or anything in it, but it's pure energy. And that's created around people also, from our own traumas. But also, I guess it can be coming in through other dimensions. They said, yes, that is true. And so you see that, which you could help people with when you see the shadow, it may be something that's connected to them because of their of some trauma they've gone through. Like when I first started channeling too, I would read people's energy field, because many of their past lives, which you see in the bazillion when you see it in a person, you see these other souls, you may see who they were in past lives, and you could also be seeing an oversoul group if they are connected to many souls, depending on where they are. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. Because it seems like it's like where they are has a lot to do with it, especially like where I'm at the time, and like when it comes to like different dimensions or realms that I've seen. It would be like I could walk down the street, and the street would be just like something completely different each time.
The way you work.
Yeah.
That's like you're walking into different timelines.
Yeah, and it's like I could step out, and then I come back, and then step out again, and it's something different. It's crazy sometimes, but that's why they try the pills and whatnot, and I've tried that route, and it hasn't done anything for me, and it hasn't taken anything or fixed it. And so we're trying new things.
Well, because the thing is, you didn't understand what was going on with you.
Yeah.
Instead, you're just like, you're schizophrenic. Okay, done. And let's do some medicines. Let's drug you up and see if we can't shut it down, which it would shut it down, maybe, depending on the drug, I guess.
Just to sleep.
Right. But you're pretty functional human being, but you see these other dimensions and other realities, from what I understand. What I have witnessed with you is you're pretty functional in the world, other than, a few things you're nervous about, because worlds might change if you're driving down the street, and you might be in another timeline and there's no cars. I don't know. Maybe it's something like that, because it is a lot what you're seeing. And so learning to control it and bring it together for yourself is really where you're trying to go, even just doing this talk today.
Yeah.
Do you have any crazy worlds or dimensions that were just out there that tripped you out? You want to talk about?
Yeah, there's been quite a few. So, like, I don't really. It's hard to relate to which one to like pop up right now to discuss. But yeah, I don't know if the voices are pertaining to this particular timeline or realm, like if they're coincided with it, as seeing or hearing or feeling or whatever that's going on at that time.
How does it feel when you're there? Does it feel like more voices are coming in because when it changes into a different street or something like that? Does it seem that there's a lot more voices at that time?
It depends on what's going on, but I've noticed. Yeah, it depends on what's going on. But I have noticed that some voices have seemed to stick around a little more so throughout the years. Like they come and go, but like they chime in as they chime in.
Yeah, let's ask about that. So
I think that's kind of
like because they may be your guides, but let's see, or they're into, or it could be different beings from another place. So again, there's three main ones that come in. Well, the main ones that are around you. Okay, there's three. Definitely one is a feminine energy. This one, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, not yet.
This one is the one that tries to tell you. This one kind of tells you things like what to do. Do you get things that, do you know this one?
No, I've listened a lot.
This one tries to tell you, like, to direct you. Is this a guide? She is someone who has been with you through many lifetimes. This one's strong. It's a feminine. She's been with you through many lifetimes. She is your guide. I am here for you now to help you understand what is going on with you. The gift you have came in at such a young age. You had no one that could understand what was happening to you. In your life, you tried to understand yourself, but you didn't understand. It's time you understand what you are capable of. You are here to connect the dimensions because time is collapsing. Because time is collapsing, and all these worlds are. If you understand, what people say, all the worlds are here at the same time anyway. There are all these realities, okay? But most people are just in the one, unless they tune into maybe reading from the other side. But you're somebody who is aware of all these realities that are going on at a time, and you're that tuned in. But you don't know how to control it because it's like, this is too much for anyone to handle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying that this guide has been around you in many lifetimes, and they are here for you. What is your name? Yes. It starts with an A. You know, there's a Notre Damus. This is weird.
Mm-hmm.
This one's name is Astrodamus.
Astrodome.
Astrodamus.
The girl, a woman.
The woman. She's been with you another lifetime. She's your guide, and she's here for you.
Okay.
For your understanding. So sometimes, if she comes in and you hear this feminine, and she will, because she's been around you.
Is she the one that had me more feminine? Because I had a tick. I had a tick once, and my friends would always say it's a lust demon.
It's a what?
A lust demon because of the nature of it. So I wonder if she has anything to do with that.
The demon was not me. I am from the angelic realm. I am here to guide you. She's been trying, maybe you haven't been listening to her because there's been too much confusion, but if you call on her, Astrodamus, she has her own name, she's your guide. And she, like if you're like, what's going on here? Astrodamus, you could ask her because she will come in and give you guidance. Like when you go through one of these experiences, she is your guide to help you through it. Okay. And you have two others. What's the other one? You have an archangel around you, Uriel, too.
What's it?
Uriel.
Uriel?
Is one of the angels. He's an archangel that is in your energetic field. Okay? So you can work with any of these. They're all for you, guides and protection. Okay? So there's Astrodamus, Uriel. What's the last one's name? It's kind of like goat, gooch, something like this. It's a weird name. Goat or gooch, gooch. Okay. They're the closest connection I can to, however they say the real angelic names, because they have a different name there, but this is what they're telling me for you to use if you want to use these names, okay? To call them in to help you with when you get frightened. But I want some questions about maybe questions you have and how to deal with some of these things.
Oh, questions I have. Oh, there's been so much. I don't really know. I just like pertaining to what you had mentioned earlier, and it being a woman, I didn't know if that was related to some of the medical conditions that I've been having. And like, I'm glad it clarified and said that, you know. Okay. Yeah, there's so many questions I wouldn't know where to start.
There was an entity that was hanging on to you for lust. That is true. That was an entity. Okay. Is that entity still here? Comes and goes. That one. Yeah. Okay. But you can ask your angels and guides to keep them at bay, keep those out. And if you start working with your angels and guides and you ask them to assist you in what's going on, or you ask, if something is frightening you, tell them to stop, back off, and things like this. They can help you with this energy as you're learning to deal with it in a way that's okay with you, so it doesn't scare you so much.
Okay.
So but I know you must have questions about anything. What else?
I always ask, like, what is it should I know? Or what should
Okay, what should she know? Going forward, you are going to begin to understand who you are and why you're here. It's part of the gift you have that's coming forward. So you're going to be able to share the gift, because right now it just frightens you, what you see, right? And maybe you're not sharing it in a way that yet, but you are going to, and that's why you're coming forward now, is so you can start getting clarity on it.
Okay. And so what about when it said the time is collapsing? So what about time?
Well, because you're in that area, you're ahead of probably everyone. Because you're seeing, okay, so we're just, like you said, we're sitting in this room and it could change into this room because you're seeing the timelines of what it's been. So like when you see something like that, you're seeing a different timeline and you're able to see that. So what you may do in the future is like when you meet, say you're around somebody and you see the shift in the room, you may be seeing that different dimension or different timeline that they have been in and they experience. And when you can learn to take it forward and get clear communication, you'll know what happened to them. Maybe you can help them remove the spoof that's on them or whatever's on the ground there that is still leftover energy that's there. You'll be able to start doing that when you understand that it's nothing to be fearful of, because you do have the inner strength and your guides and angels are here to help you to begin to work with and clear that stuff. Does that make sense? I mean, what would you do? Say, like you said, like you want to be able to help somebody, but you don't know how, right?
Yeah. Like the closest I've gotten to is like bumping something that was on the table, and like I could see it move or spill or something, but there's nothing like I could tangibly.
There wasn't anything in the physical, but you were trying to, yeah, and that's the. It's so interesting. That's like, I mean, people do time travel or they have those out of body experiences to go through what you're going through, and you have it and you see it without having to do all of that. You see those different things, like the different worlds, and you know, people go into deep trances to get to the place that you're just seeing every day, which is wild, you know.
Yeah.
But you know how healing that would be if you could help them see what's there, you know. But so let's get guidance on, say you're in a room like that, what you should be doing for now. What should you be doing? In her situation, there needs to be a connection to her guides. Oh, okay. So you do need to start working with them a lot. You need to ask the guides when you're in that situation, what am I supposed to do here? And then listen. But you ask them by name. So because right now you're very new and you're hearing voices, you don't know whose voices that they are.
Yeah.
And so they're saying, call on one of your guides. Okay.
Okay.
And her guides, and you don't have to even say them by name. You could say, I want to talk to my higher guides and angels from 5G and above. Could you help me in this situation?
Okay. There's a question. Am I okay in these other dimensions, like physically, or?
Well, because you do need to go through and get the protections. Okay, because right now you're vulnerable. You may start getting sickness. You're going in, you know, vulnerable, right? And because there are other realities, sometimes now in the other reality parts, you're not supposed to really touch those things. They probably do. They disappear? Do they go?
Sometimes,
like yeah,
like it disappears or be there, or the time. That's why I was asking about the time. It will seem like it was there 1 second ago, and then after I go to do something, within the next second, it'll be something else.
Yeah,
and then this next second, it's another thing. That's why I was questioning about the time having to do with that. When you had said the time class, it resonated a lot. And I was just like, because throughout this journey I've been going through, I've been very curious in regards to time and the essence of it itself. And like how sometimes it's so fast that
because time is collapsing. And so when you're in those different time things, you're really not supposed to touch things. What I was talking about is like, say you're in a park and it's a human and you see the energy. Then if you have the healing thing, you will be able to help release that, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when you're in these other timelines, you're really not supposed to touch anything because it'll disappear because it's, you know, a different timeline. You're not supposed to touch it, but you can focus on it. And if it's real, if it doesn't do that, like in reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the truth.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, this is some wild stuff you go through.
Yeah, it's calmed down a lot throughout the past 2 years, but after, like before the past 2 years, it was pretty hectic for some time. And it was like nonstop, like day to day to the extreme. Like,
but you were out in the world.
Yes, I was out and about doing the most, walking a lot of places, doing a lot of things, meeting a lot of people.
Right. And what I'm getting at is like when you're out in the world, so one thing you've seen 1,000,001, and what you're really seeing, it can be their own soul, who they've been throughout many lifetimes. But that's really the whole soul, right? We come in and each lifetime we take on and we individuate, and this is who we are, and then in the next lifetime this is who we are. And when you see that oversoul of who somebody is, then that's when you're seeing all those different things, right? In this world, you see that in the physical in this world now. That's who they are. Mm-hmm. And so when you see something, so sometimes when you're out, you're going to see, so you're seeing trillions of people and everybody they ever were when you're out in the world, right? Mm-hmm. That's why it got so crazy. And, it might be for you, it's better to not be in the crowds, because for people who are sensitive to this kind of thing, it's hard to be in public all the time. You have to keep it limited to people,
Yeah.
And you'll get to where you can go out more, maybe, if you want to. It depends on what you choose to do with this, but you are somebody who's seeing all the realms and all the past and future. It'd be interesting to see some future ones. Have you seen any future ones?
Anything of futuristic nature? Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about those.
Like the electronics or whatever is like so highly upgraded in the area, and like it's even more like space age type of stuff. And it's like it's very how do I put this? It's hard to explain really. It's just very advanced. Like something that's so simple for us to do right now. It's like 10 times faster and like can be done. It's like something's already knowing what's happening before it happens. Like how I used to be able to do with certain things when I was younger. I would know certain things before they would happen, and then like they would happen. And someone was like trying to exercise that, and then like I did for a period of time, and then someone died on me that I wasn't able to tell. So I was like, no, screw this, and I like stopped, kind of put a wall up, and was like, yeah.
Well, that makes sense. When the real futuristic ones, what were the beings like? Do you remember?
It depends. Like very sleek with some things of nature.
Do they seem like machines, or do you think they were human?
There have been machines too, like more robotic, more lifelike. And if you've seen today that they do have some creations that are somewhat similar to some of the things that I've seen, walking into like a casino or something of that nature, and just the people who you're interacting with, it's like they're beyond the level. Like people don't do certain jobs like robots do.
In the future.
Yeah, type of thing.
See, so that was tuning in on future timelines. So you're just seeing so many timelines here, right?
Yeah, I've seen this. It's been a lot throughout the past like few years that I was talking about. Like it was a lot of like back to back to back to back every day, something going on. But it's tamed down a bit.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not like that shit, but and like I just think of me as being different. From a lot
You're
of
different. I mean,
that's for sure.
right. But some say schizophrenia. Some say it's a spiritual gift, but you just have to get it in mind.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do. A lot of people I've met have said that, trying to get it in line, trying to harness it and like blossom with it or figure it out or see where it goes. But protection and safe, being safe in all aspects is like the main importance of it. And those that I'm around, that's my main concern, is that I'm safe and those that I care about, and my protections or my archangels and whatnot that are there to assist me, that they're okay too.
They're okay. They want to help you.
So,
Because we are coming into a time where, like I said, timelines are collapsing. And you are, and what's so fascinating is that you told me you're 33.
yes.
Which is time for you to master it. Like that's the master number, right? 33 is, and isn't it interesting that you're looking into this now, because you are a master with what you can see. It's just you haven't yourself mastered it, but you are a master inside. And when you can bring it all in and control it and understand it, I think part of what scares you is the not understanding what's happening to you.
Yeah,
It's the fear.
That's been an issue too. Yeah, I've had some fears for a lot of stuff that's happened, and then like after being through what I have been and seeing some of the stuff I have seen, I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, well, I still get up each day. I still like gotta keep it moving.
No, you're doing
Gotta
great.
make stuff like get out there and function, and just make sure I get the basics done and what my wants and needs are accomplished, and just try to make it through each day because I'm still here. and it's for a reason.
Oh, it is for sure. And I think this is your year, 33.
I hope something. I think so far we've got a lot of progression already. I know means.
What other questions should we ask?
I don't know. It's a good one. That's why I thought this would be very interesting because it's like who is the ones that
That are coming
the
in.
main ones that.
Well, I mean, let's face it, because you attract a lot from these other dimensions because you can see and they can see, you can see. Not all. Some are just going about their business and they aren't paying attention depending on what world they're in or whatever. But many times they're seeing you just like you're seeing them and they know you see them. And that's some of those entities kind of swoop over. And I think let's talk about some. There have been some other entities that have maybe followed you in for a bit and then left. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Can you recall any?
Like name-wise? No.
No, you don't do names. Just tell us about maybe an experience.
Yeah, like when a lot of stuff like was going on all at once, it was kind of overwhelming. And I was, like I said, I would get either really sick because of a lot of stuff that was going on, and I wasn't doing anything at the time or anything like that nature to have put me in a position to be so like bedridden down there.
Oh, because they followed you back in.
Or whatever, yeah. Like it's just a lot going on at that time, and that's one of the main things is being able to function while being able to actually, like, that's what it is exactly, being able to function while all of this is going on, whether or not something's following me or not, or coming in.
You said something to me earlier about recently you've been feeling better.
Yes, yes.
And
I get tingles, even by talking to you, I've been feeling different things, like being here today. So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's been on the bright side, and like I'm hoping it's good.
Oh, it is good because I wanted to tell you something you may not know, and what's happening on the planet also is happening to you, and that's why I think you're feeling good. And it's light codes are coming in, so that's helping you align too. And they're going to continue coming in until 2026. But these light codes, and some days they'll knock the crap out of you, and you have to rest because they're getting rid of something that's inside you. Some shadow work, some energy that got stuck to you. A lot of this stuff is being cleaned out of us. So I don't know if you know about that. And it's, but these light codes come in from the sun and they are to heal us and they're helping us raise our vibration, you know, which is what I think why you're feeling better is you're getting some stuff cleaned out that maybe have been stuck to you. Okay.
And I've felt something like that before too. When like going through, like walking through this thing, like I picked up stuff along the way. Like I said, like you could see something in the park, like I wouldn't walk on that or I wouldn't touch that, but someone walks right over it, and like it has attached itself to them, whatever it is, and it can either be debilitating to them of some sort, or they just don't even know, and you just keep on moving, but something is still there, and sometimes I can see it. And like I said, like if I could only just do this,
but when you can harness that energy, you'll be able to.
Yeah, I would hope so.
You will. When you're seeing something like that, you'll be able to focus. Just like we kind of prepared you a little bit ago with the energy and protection and that, you'll be able to focus the light and do the healing. You know, we're going to do the Minokai rites here soon. I'll give them to you and Alicia and get you guys going on them so that you can have that energy that starts up the healer's energy, the seer's energy, all the different energies that you will receive will help you get in line. You know, because really I see a woman here who's very gifted that doesn't understand it. And now is ready to step into her power is what I channel here and I'm getting from you. And you have angels and guides, pretty big ones according to that.
Yeah.
You know?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What it said.
Yeah. Because, you know, people like you, what year were you born then?
Me? I'm 88.
Interesting. Because people like you are a gift to the planet because you're coming in here with this awareness of all the dimensions, right? And all the timelines. Well, they're going to collapse, but your energy is bringing that in to do it. That's a good thing, not a bad though. because when it happens, time ends, and then it's part of awareness shifting, and you're one of those gifted people who is bringing in that. And you just haven't known, and you probably felt like the craziest person in the room, and you're like, but that is only because you didn't know who you are, and who you are is bringing in a very powerful gift for the planet. And once you align with it, it's like, wow, it's gonna be amazing.
I hope so. I'm just hoping for the best.
It is. And so honestly, I am going to give you the Minokai rights soon. Hopefully. We need to get together. We're going to start doing these videos a lot, so we can each time give you guys the Minokai rights if you want.
Sounds good.
Any other questions? What time have we got here on this video? Oh, we did good. Do you have some more questions or anything else you want to know before we go?
Well, I have names now, so that's a plus, and I'm really excited about that. Just like, I don't know where to begin, or like.
We are going to begin because we're going to do the Minokai rights, and so we'll probably do videos again on Monday and on Tuesday next week. Okay. So on that day, I will plan on giving you the rights. I'm going to send you guys the information tonight, you and Alicia. She's already got her first right, so I'll send it to you. And then I'll give you that right. And then the next one will be, I wouldn't mind doing the Bands of Power Protection. We'll do 2 next week. It's not that hard. I'll send you the information if I get your email, and we'll start you on this process of aligning yourself.
Okay. That sounds great.
Thank you so much. What an interesting situation.
Yeah.
A beautiful soul.
Oh, thank you.
I can't wait to start working with you. Thank you so much. All right. Thanks, everybody who is going to watch this video. Enjoy the rest of your day, and look forward to we don't know, we may do another one. We'll see how this goes with Jade. All right. Have a great day, everyone.